our government still shut down. Why do these Democrats not care enough about the American people to open the government back up so federal workers, TSA workers, and everyone else that works for the government can get paid? Tell me why these people shut our government down just because of them being angry that taxpayers are refusing to pay the health insurance of non-American citizens. Y'all care more about non-American citizens than you do about good old Americans that have worked hard for 30 and 40 years in their 50s and 60s now. They can't even get what they need. They're already struggling. And then you have working families that can't go to work because y'all wanted to shut the government down because you were more concerned about health care for non-American citizens than you care about American citizens eating, making income so they can pay their mortgage, their rent, their car notes. Make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense. But let me give it a few more minutes for you guys to come in. For everybody watching the replay, we're going to talk about this government shutdown. Apparently, these lunatics have had major wins last night in New York, Virginia, and some other state that I forgot along the East Coast. In mayor, they got the mayor they wanted, governors they wanted in New York, Virginia, and somewhere else. I don't know if they said Delaware. And they're saying it was a major comeback for the Democrats along the East Coast last night because during the election, President Trump had swept some of those previously left-wing dominated states, and now they're happy because now they got their Democratic governors and mayors back in New York and Virginia and some other. And it's just like, what's going on, people? Why? Why can people not return? Why do they not care enough about American citizens where they would say, okay, you know what? This is the longest shutdown in American history. It's like day 36 now. We need to stop pouting, stop acting like babies, stop throwing a witch fit, and we need to actually tap back into reality and realize, hey, we can't get our way. We can't pay for the illegal health care. We need to help our American people now, but they can't do it because they don't care enough. Democrats don't care enough for the American people. And I just wonder, is this an eye-opener for some of you left-wing liberals out there, some of you left-wing feminists out there, some of you Democratic black men and black women and even white feminists that are stuck on a Democratic plantation and you won't vote any other way, even when they tell you to your face, blank you and piss on you and say you can die for all we care and leave you in the street to be ran over 1,000,000 times, you're still going to vote for them? You're still going to vote for them and then blame the Democratic shutdown on Trump and say, oh, this man has too much power. We can't afford food stamps. We can't go to work because he won't open the government. Whole time he's fighting to open the government. He's saying he's trying to intervene. Democrats just need to come on, let's work together. Let's put our political issues aside. And the Democrats are saying, nope, we want illegal health care now. We want American taxpayers to pay for illegal health care. We don't care about you Americans. Piss on your grave, piss on you. You can have a heart attack for all we care. You can go hungry. You can get kicked out of your apartment, out of your house. We don't care about Americans. It is illegals first. We're going to throw a witch fit. We're going to pout because we can't get our way. And if that means the American people suffering and the American people not getting paid, the airport workers, TSA workers, federal workers not getting paid, federal workers not knowing where their next meal, not knowing where their next car note, not knowing where their next mortgage income or rent income is coming from, single mothers suffering, not knowing where the next dollar is coming from because they have a federal job, then oh well. Because we are here to serve illegals first. Illegals deserve health care. We don't care about you Americans. F you Americans. The Democrats are blowing my mind right now. And for some of you out here really foolish enough and brainwashed to still be blaming Trump in the middle of this when they have made it clear that the Democrats are holding the government, and even last night they were supposed to vote and it's still shut down. If you guys don't realize these people care nothing about you, and I'm not saying that one side is more bad. Well, I am saying one side is more bad because I do believe Trump cares about Americans. He is a businessman. He does do what's right for the American budget most of the time. But one thing about it, he is going to work for Christians. He's going to work for Israel, and he is American first. Israel's our ally, so I threw that in. Christ is Jewish. Remember that before you want to talk crap about them. But he is going to work for American jobs. He is going to work for black people. He is going to work for Chicago. He is cleaning up the streets. He cleaned up the streets in Memphis. He cleaned up the streets in Washington. He's concerned about the black people in Chicago that have been affected by illegal immigration. He's concerned about jobs, even black jobs, even American jobs, and we like that. But the Democrats are saying, screw you guys. To the descendants of slaves, they're saying, screw you guys. Just stay on this plantation. Continue to vote for us, even though we're telling you, screw you to your face. Just do your job as a good little slave, a good little you know what, and vote for us no matter what. And if you don't, we're going to throw a witch fit, and we're going to keep this government closed. We don't care about you eating. We don't care about you paying your rent or your mortgage. It's crazy. And I don't think I ever imagined anything like this happening in my lifetime as far as the government, because Congress, because seats don't want to vote because of their political desires, making this a political thing because they're pouting, because they want to make it about them versus Republicans, instead of looking at the overall objective and the overall benefit for the American people. Looking at the bigger picture, like, how does this help the American people? Let's put our differences aside. At this point, we need to help the American people. Nope, that's not happening, people. They care nothing about you. They are telling you to your face. And you guys are still, the funny thing is, in 2028, when Trump leaves office, you guys are still going to vote for them. You guys are still going to vote for them. People don't know how they're going to have Thanksgiving, and you guys are blaming Trump. People don't know how they're, and even though he restored half of the food stamps, that's better than nothing. Most of these people are overweight. They don't even need to be on food stamps. But if we're talking about just getting money from your jobs, you can't do it because the Democrats shut the government down. These people don't know how they're going to give gifts for their children for Christmas, because the government is shut down. They can't go to work, or if they go, they're not getting paid. If this isn't obvious that the government doesn't care for you guys, I don't know what is. I pray that you guys wake up during this. I pray that you guys are no longer hypnotized and stigmatized and sterilized to the fact where you have to just vote for them no matter what, even though they're telling you to your face they don't care for you. You come second to illegals, because this is all about illegal health care, and American taxpayers paying for it. You guys are still going to vote for them no matter what. And that's the crazy part. And this is why you guys need to wake up. Because why? Hello, how are you? To phrase F. Because why should we allow American people to suffer just because the Democrats want to use American taxpayers' money to pay for illegals' health care? They want illegals to get more benefits than Americans. Some of them don't even know where their paychecks are coming from, how they're going to pay their bills, what they're going to eat. And they care more about illegals than American citizens. And if that doesn't tell you they don't care for you, to some of you guys that are diehard for the Democratic Party, I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, because even in the mix of this, you got Christians out here. While he's in the middle of trying to help and save Nigerian Christians that are being executed by Islamic terrorists, you Christians are still talking trash about Trump instead of praying for them and praying for those Christians in Nigeria like their lives don't matter. You want to still talk about Trump. It doesn't matter what this man does, that's good. And I'm not saying everything he does is good, but he is trying to help the Christians in Nigeria. He is trying to get the government back open. But the Democrats, you guys preach up and down, he's the devil, he's the white devil, he's evil, he hates people. Meanwhile, he gave more money to HBCUs. He's trying to get the HBC open. He's fighting for black lives and Nigerians, black Christian lives, if we want to just bring it up. No color doesn't matter. But some of you same people screaming Black Lives Matter, but you're not starting protests for the black lives that are dying that are Christians in Nigeria. Make it make sense. You protested for George Floyd. You protest for all the black lives in America. And then when Christians are dying in Nigeria, crickets, everybody's quiet. But the white man is making noise. The white man, Trump, is saying, guess what? I'm going to intervene because their lives matter, because it needs to stop. You got Christians in China, Christians in Europe saying this has to stop. But you same black liberals that care so much about black lives don't care about these black lives in Nigeria that are dying. You swear up and down he's the enemy, and he's trying to save them. He's saying we need to intervene. Now their president are saying, whoa, let's have a conversation with Trump. You didn't want to have a conversation when the Christians were getting killed, when 7,000 Nigerian Christians living in northern Nigeria were getting executed and terminated by Fulani Islamic terrorists. You didn't want to have a conversation with them when 7,000 of them just were executed this year alone. There was no conversation that the president or the government in Nigeria want to have with Trump. Now when he say, I'm finna come in there and spray all these Islamic terrorists, y'all want to be like, whoa. You should have been like, whoa, when your people were getting executed. But because they were Christians, you didn't care, because the government in Nigeria, northern Nigeria, is Muslim. That's a Muslim territory. It's dominated by them. Even though those Christians were there for centuries, those Muslims came in and took over. That's why they're getting killed, and that's why the government don't want to say nothing, because they're all Muslims. It's a part of their faith. But I only bring that up because Trump has done a lot to help specifically Black people. He gave more to HBCUs. MAGA gave to HBCUs before Kamala and them gave in. They only outgave because they know he did give and they wanted to have something. She didn't care about HBCUs. All that fake stuff. How you go and graduate from Howard and don't even know how to properly make collard greens. Like, I don't care that she's biracial or if she's Black or if she's not. She just wasn't fit for the job. But to me, she really didn't care for Black lives like she said she did. As a matter of fact, she locked more Black lives up in California just for smoking weed. And then she claimed to be Jamaican. You know, I love to smoke weed, but ironically, you locked Black men up for smoking weed. You locked Black women up for being at their job or something like that. Something to do with the children missing school, when their children missed school because they were sick or had sickle cell. When these Black lives that Kamala claims she cared for, that you people that quote Black lives, when she locked up these Black women because their kids had sickle cell and they had to miss school, and she went to their house and locked them up, had her DOG locked them up, had Christians locked up for protesting abortion clinics, Black, white, and in between. She locked up more Black lives than anybody, but you guys swear that she was the one for the job. And Trump up here trying to set a revolution, talking about I'm trying to give money to Black businesses. He gave to HBCU. She only gave to outdo him, to say she did because she knew y'all would use that. She don't care about y'all. He does care is my point. I feel like he does care. He fights for Black folks. He fighting for them Black women and Black lives in Chicago. He's cleaning up the hood in Memphis. He's cleaning up the streets in Washington. He's cleaning up the fentanyl from coming across the border from Mexico and all these other. He's cleaning up the streets of America to make it safer for us. But y'all swearing up and down he don't care. Meanwhile, your Democratic representatives, your Democratic saviors, your Democratic rescuers, your Democratic teachers and daddies and mommies are keeping the government shut down. They're pouting like 3-year-olds. Meanwhile, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't pay your bills because these people you vote for care more about illegals than American hardworking citizens. That's a problem. American hardworking citizens. I'm not even just talking about the baby mamas on EBT that are able-bodied, that can work, that are lazy, that are ghetto. I'm talking about American mothers that are working. Like my mother was a single mom, but she worked. We weren't on housing, we weren't on food stamps, and we don't look down because if you own it, you were only supposed to be on it temporarily and get out, but she worked. For those single moms that work, for those families that work, and now they have federal jobs, and they don't know how they're gonna pay their rent this month. They couldn't pay their rent this month because the government been shut down for 36 days. They can't pay their car note because they didn't get paid. Like, what the heck? How does the Democrats just have all this power to screw us over like this? Thankfully, and by God's grace, it's not affecting me, but it's affecting so many more of my American sisters and brothers. I am on School Online. I talked to one of the representatives at the school, and he's like, well, we don't even know if y'all are going to be able to finish because if the government doesn't open, who's going to pay for your education? And I don't know if I have enough money to pay for that out of pocket. You know, I don't think I do. But I was hoping I could still use that, and that's a military benefit. But so this government shutdown is not just affecting a few, it's affecting a lot of us. And where it hurts, some more than others. If I had a federal job and I had to work and I wasn't getting paid, I would be pissed. Who wants to be at work knowing you're not getting paid? Like, we really need to give a hand clap to these workers that are showing up at the airport and not getting paid. All the federal workers that are still showing up and you're not even getting paid. Come on, who does that? Who is able to go to work and keep a smile on your face and make sure people get on their flights and direct these planes and you're not even getting the pay? You don't even have money to go get something to eat on your lunch break. Who's able to do that? Where's the hope in that? And you're up there working hard, tired, going home. You got kids. You're not able to pay your rent. You don't know when you'll get paid because the stupid Democrats don't want to open it up. It doesn't make sense. So people, I hope you wake up. I hope, no, this is not my real hair, it's a wig. I hope you realize that if you were a diehard Democratic voter before now, this should tell you how the Democrats really feel about you. Wake up. They give up two rats' tails about you right now. They care more about illegals than they do about American citizens. If you want to give your scraps and you want to have them come live with you and you want to go live in it, all for it. But when you come affecting American people that have worked for this for 30, 40 years, when you tell us we can't eat or we can't drink, or those hard workers, because like I said, it's not affecting me money-wise. It may affect my school, but to see so many other American sisters and brothers saying they can't eat, they can't go to work, they don't know how they're going to pay their rent, they're not going to pay their, what if that was me? But if I see y'all, that's me, because these are our people. We're Americans. No one should have to suffer. Kids shouldn't have to wonder if they're going to have a Christmas this year because the dumb Democrats don't want to open up the government. Now they can't get their bike. Now that mom can't get her car she was planning to save up for. Shoot, half of us don't know because they refuse to open up the government. You guys, this says a lot. This says a lot about the Democrats. This says a lot. You guys need to wake up and come to the light. Even if you to be Republican, at least be independent. Just get off of the Democratic plantation. This is what they feel about you. They care not about American citizens. They will shut you down. Make sure you don't have money to pay your rent, pay your car note. Do everything you need to get those new shoes you needed to start that warehouse job, fellas, young ladies that used to work at Amazon like me, and you got to get your shoes. You can't afford to get the shoes because the government is still shut down. But you guys are riding die hard and swearing up and down that Trump has all the power. Meanwhile, Trump fighting to get the government open for the American people, talking about, hey, maybe I got to take extra measures. Maybe I got to do this and do that to open it up. And they still fighting. The Democrats are like, no. Health care for illegals. Health care. F you Americans. I tell you what, since they care so much more about illegals and non-American citizens, and I don't hate anyone, but I feel like Americans should be first. Since you care so much, I hope Trump deports you. I hope he deports you to all those countries that you care and all those people you care about. I hope you get deported with them, since you care more about them than American people, that you're willing to allow Americans to suffer in their own country because of people that are non-Americans that came over illegal at that. If you want to take care of them at your own expense, allow all of the millions of illegals that came over here to stay at your house and the Democrats' house, Jasmine Crockett, the black and Indian woman that was just running for president, anybody else, they can stay at your house. But the moment you're taking it away from my American sisters and brothers, the moment you're saying y'all can't pay your bills, you can't pay your car note, I don't know how you're going to have Christmas this year. I don't know where you're going to get your funding for, because we care more about illegals. That's when y'all need to get deported, because Democrats should not have that much power. The Republicans aren't even doing. The Republicans are mature enough to say, I know we don't agree, but at this moment we need to do what's best for the American people. And Democrats, man, baby, suck your mama's titty. I want to do what I want to do. I want to do what I want to do. So everybody that's affected by this, I'm praying for y'all. If this doesn't cause y'all to wake up, you're stubborn, you're foolish, you're ignorant. You're ignorant. These people don't care for y'all. They don't care for Americans. That's a problem. Why would you want people running your government, these Democratic mayors that are giving more money to illegals than American citizens? That are all in islands and vacationing. When California was having these wildfires, she all on vacation. Then ain't trying to do nothing to help because she care more about illegals. All these Democratic mayors, the black mayor in Chicago, care more about illegals than he do about the black folks suffering in the hoods. Than he do about the black kids that don't even have counselors in the high schools because they fired half of them. Don't even have enough budget for the black people in the hood in Chicago because the dumb mayor is giving it all to the illegals. This is what Democrats do. This isn't hate speech. We don't hate anyone. We're all for legal migration, or legal immigration. But we have so many illegals right now that they're carrying and giving more of our benefits to them than the American citizens are suffering. That's a problem. And you don't have to be an Einstein. I'm not very, very like brilliantly smart to understand that these people really care two rats' tails about us. They're willing to let your grandmas, your moms, your cousins, your aunties, the single moms, they're willing to let y'all suffer. You wanted to have your small businesses. You can't even open it now because now you can't get a loan because they're shutting all the businesses down because they're more concerned about people that aren't even American citizens and their health care when Americans can't even get health care anymore. You've been working 10, 15 years. You can't even get, your grandma can't even get health care. But they're more concerned about giving it to people that aren't even citizens, that didn't even come over the legal way. I'm not saying you got to beat people up and treat them like dogs, but I am saying Americans should be first, that y'all should care about us feeding ourselves and being able to pay our rent and our mortgage and car notes first. Doesn't that make sense? Why would you let these people be your mayors? Why would you vote for these people to be your presidents and they don't even care about you first? They put people that did not sow into the American pay system or government or retirement, social security, and they tell them you can get all the benefits, but Americans can't get a home. You can't get health care. You don't have enough money to put down a down payment for a car. You can't get a house. You can't get a loan. They're telling veterans you have to stay struggling. You can't get that home. You can't get this loan. Telling small black business owners and everyone else, no, you can't get it because you're American. If you're illegals, you can get it. That's what we're fighting for. These people don't need to be in office. We need to push back against this Democratic Party. It is anti-American. It is anti-patriotic. It is anti-everything that America was built on. To have people sitting up here fighting for people that aren't even Americans and letting Americans get screwed over. It's anti-American. And if you guys can't wake up, and if you guys can't acknowledge the flavor of the Kool-Aid right now, that these people are saying, screw us, something is wrong. If this ain't causing a lot of y'all to shift over, at least to the independent party, even if you don't like Trump like that, something is wrong. Because these people are clearly telling you to your face, F you. Wake up, people. And I'm saved, I don't curse, Lord forgive me. But they're clearly saying we don't care. They're pouting. They're throwing little witch fits. They're acting like 3-year-olds, all because of their Democratic agenda. That's anti-American. I'm not saying treat people like dogs, put them in cages like Obama was doing, even though he was Democratic. Trump is paying to say, hey, yeah, I'll give you $1,000 if you fly back. At least you'll be able to come over. But y'all saying that he's the orange evil man. Well, meanwhile, Obama was in office. He was Democratic. He was putting illegals in cages, even the kids in cages. More than any president. He deported more immigrants than any president. But y'all swearing up and down that the orange man is evil. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. He's trying to accommodate. Look, I give you $1,000, get you a burger, get a new outfit, take some new clothes. You could take that to your country and even make that money stretch more than you could here, and then you can come over the right way. But y'all swearing up and down he's so evil. Meanwhile, he cleaned up the streets of Washington, cleaned up the streets of Memphis, trying hard to get the streets of Chicago underway, fighting for black lives, fighting for people. But y'all swearing up and down the man racist. Meanwhile, Democrat parties gave you two middle fingers and told you where you could put it, where the sun don't shine. And y'all still wondering, when is the government going to open up? And you still refuse to change your vote. Or you still can't figure out that this Democratic Party got a whole nother agenda. Something is wrong. Anyway, we pray for those affected by this. Time to wake up. Exactly. See what I'm saying? She's saying, she's saying they must be sleeping. I thought you said I must be sleeping. And he did it without ICE all over the streets. Did it way better than Trump. Man, I don't know. But people say ICE is so bad. When I see the little videos of ICE, I mean, from what I see, I don't see them like throwing people on the ground and stuff like that. I see them trying to get people because sometimes they gather around the members. They don't want them. I be seeing them attacking ICE members. I be seeing, especially in the Latino community, they be attacking them and doing all this. But I just see the ICE member trying to get the person and put them in the van. I don't see them beating them up, punching them, throwing them on the ground. I just see them trying to get them and be like, sir, you have to go, man. Like I be seeing them. They move pretty decently is what I see. And I feel like if Trump told me and I was an illegal from Nigeria, Haiti, or whatever, and he said, listen, I'm going to give you $1,000. You can go back and you come. I'd be like, okay, bet. Because I can take that money and he can stretch over there. I'm going to pray and I know God is going to make a way. And I'm going to go and do what he told me to do so I can come back over the right way. Because I know God is going to make a way. He's not in control. God is going to make a way, but he still told me to obey the laws of the land. So if the man is telling me I'm going to help you come over the right way, just turn yourself in. Why wouldn't you do it? So you can come over the right way. But he said, if we find you and we have to come, you can't come. You screw your whole life over if you can't come back. I don't have to fight against a system if I already came over illegal and they already given me an ultimatum when that's already illegal. That was already against the law in the first place. He didn't have to give that ultimatum. I don't hear none of these people up here saying Trump is racist against Mexicans and Latinos. I don't hear none of them acknowledging the fact that he didn't have to give any of you an ultimatum, whether you're Latino, African, or anything else, Indian, Chinese. He didn't have to give you the ultimatum to say, I'll give you $1,000, pay for your ticket, go back to your country, and then you can come over the right way. He didn't have to give you that ultimatum when y'all came over illegal in the first place. He could have said, I'm just rounding all y'all up, but he gave you an ultimatum. After that, you've already broken the law. But none of them acknowledge that because he's just so racist and so evil. So racist and so evil that he also gave you an ultimatum when you should have been found guilty in the first place for coming over the wrong way. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, whether you want to say, well, it's not a crime because I just came over trying to have it is though. You broke the law by coming over illegally. He could have just followed the plan and just said, okay, I'm going to send y'all all back or you're going to do some time. But he didn't do that. He was like, I'll give you $1,000. No. Do you think Obama did that? Do you think Obama? No, he didn't. But anyway, I pray for those that are affected, and I pray that God ends this because these people are very selfish, very evil, and very ignorant. It shows how demonic that party is. And the fact that we have Christians out here, people saying that they are Christians that are still on this party side after the evilness they're showing us, after what they're doing to American people. It's like, this is bigger than just food stamps and y'all blaming it on Trump. This is like people that don't know where their next meals, their next paycheck, their rent is coming from. And y'all still fighting for these people. These are the same people holding it up. I don't know. Prayers up, because this shutdown needs to end. My prayers are with y'all. God bless. Have a blessed night. And know that God is in control. Know that God has the final say, and he will never leave us or forsake us. He will never put more on us than we can bear to single mothers, to families, not knowing where your rent or your mortgage or your car note or if your kids going to have Christmas. Know that God will make a way. Know that God will still bring you out victorious. Know that this too shall pass. God will still bring you out. He will still bless you. And remember, he may not come when you want him, even if you can't get it that day, if it's Christmas or Thanksgiving, but he's always right on time. He will still bless you in his timing. Even if you have to miss a day or you can't do it like you want to do it, he's still going to bless you with it in the future. So hold on and be encouraged because God is in control. God bless y'all. Be blessed. That's right, Zena, in God's time. God bless, sister. Be blessed. Love you all. Be encouraged.